I'm Tom. Yesterday we saw Gervonta Davis take on Lamont Roach, and that was a fight that I thought would be really close. I don't really cover Gervonta Davis because I don't like him as a person. I try not to give airtime to people I don't really like because ultimately I don't want to be a negative person. I don't want this to become a negative channel. And a lot of fighters that I don't really like as people, no matter what they are in the ring, I can't really talk too great on. You know, I can do my best and objectively I can talk about them as fighters, but a lot of the time I find myself talking quite poorly about certain fighters. And Gervonta Davis fits into that category. I don't want to start coming on here and making videos just slagging off Gervonta Davis because I think he's overhyped, overrated, and then he's that great. But you don't want to hear that. I don't really want to start saying stuff like that, so I don't really cover him. Going into this fight, I thought Lamont Roach, well, at first I thought the fight wasn't getting much coverage. I actually saw an opportunity there, but as I say, I thought Lamont Roach would pose a lot of difficulties for Gervonta Davis, but I did think ultimately Gervonta Davis would have the answers. We saw yesterday that wasn't the case, and we saw that why I think Gervonta Davis is overhyped. We saw why I think he's a bit of a hype job and overrated. He's rated as the next best thing, but really, he's not got anyone on his resume. Gervonta Davis hasn't got any notable names on his resume, and you can say Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia was weight drained. He had a weight drained Ryan Garcia, and he won't rematch him. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's avoided Shakur. He's avoided the other champions. He keeps getting champions in the division below to come up, rather than actually fighting champions like Lamont Roach in his own division, like Shakur Stevenson. And there's reasons for that. I think Tank Davis could be a very good champion. I think he absolutely could be a very good champion in his division. The problem is, for some strange reason, even though he's got that power, he's not got the bottle to step in there with anyone of note in his division, like Shakur. That, by the way, a lot of people favour him to beat Shakur. I don't, and I didn't before this fight. This isn't me playing Monday Night Quarterback. I didn't fancy him to beat Shakur Stevenson before this fight. And now we see why. He's got a one-dimensional tactic. He hasn't really got a plan B. His tactic is, I'll give away the first 4 or 5 rounds, just downloading information, just understanding how you fight, how you box, what you do, what's your game plan. And then I'll just step on you. The second half, the last 2/3 of the fight will be mine. And it didn't work yesterday because what people tend to do is start really quick against Gervonta. They feel like, I need these first 4 or 5 rounds. When he starts slow, I need those early rounds. So they start really quick, and that plays into his hands. Lamont didn't do that. He didn't start really quick. The first half of the fight was the tale of nothing's really happening. And then it started, and Gervonta Davis had no answers for that. He had no plan B. He didn't know what to do. And this is my problem with Gervonta Davis. This is why I don't rate him. You know, oftentimes he'll be losing the fight, down the scorecards, and he'll land that punch. And that didn't happen yesterday. And what happened yesterday was he actually took the knee, took a knockdown, went to his corner so they could wipe his face and everything. And the ref didn't give it a knockdown. You know, since the dawn of boxing, since people have been putting on gloves to fight people, that is a knockdown. In every world, every other fight, taking the knee is a knockdown. And he didn't. And in fact, he goes, look, do that again, and I'm going to have to give it a knockdown. Well, why didn't you that time? Why in a professional boxing bout are you talking to him as if he's under 4s? Do you know what I mean? As if he's a junior boxer. What's that about? That was a knockdown. And the joke of it is, I had Lamont Roach ahead by two rounds. I had him ahead sort of, yeah, two rounds, 7-5, about that sort of thing. I had him winning, is my point. When you factor in that was a knockdown, he should have won. Then you factor in somehow the fucking awful officiating, as per the usual, the same old story, the awful judging in boxing, have him a majority draw, which is crazy to me. Then you factor in the knockdown that wasn't given. If that's given a knockdown, like it is to, I tell you now, if Lamont Roach did that, 100% that's given a knockdown. If Lamont Roach took a knee and went to his corner, without a doubt that's given a knockdown. But for whatever reason, Gervonta Davis is not given a knockdown. Any other fighter, That's ruled a knockdown. Lamont Roach does that, that's ruled a knockdown. Javante Davis does it, and he gets let off. Now, if he gets ruled a knockdown like it should have been, the two judges that had it a draw have Lamont Roach ahead. And then he rightly gets given the win. So yet again, it's the story of awful officiating and awful judging. I mean, the judges should have had him ahead anyway, which they didn't. And the ref should have ruled that a knockdown, which he didn't. And suddenly the state of the tape is Javante Davis, who I think is an awful guy, but also an overrated boxer, now doesn't have an O on his record, a loss on his record because of awful judging and awful officiating, coupled in with the awful stoppage in the other fight. And what should have been a good boxing weekend, to be fair, was a good boxing weekend, ends up with controversy. And this is the story of boxing at the moment. When's it going to change? People, I don't like making videos like this. In my opinion, Lamont Roach won. What next? Javante Davis will probably avoid him for a bit. Maybe fight Jake Paul, what he said he wants to do. And then maybe rematch him. Judging by how that fight went, I'm not so sure. But that's what I think will happen. Lamont Roach, probably back down to his division. He'll chase the rematch, of course. But he's got the belt in his division, so go back down to his division. Maybe Javante Davis should actually start fighting people in his own weight class now. But hey, there we are, people. Sorry for making videos like this. I don't like doing it, but it's a Sunday. It's not my usual schedule. Thank you so much for watching, people. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know how YouTube works, people. Peace.